Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back taking a look at another Mewtwo Mew GX like toolbox style deck, but this is actually going to be for the expanded format. I think the community has done a pretty good job at this point covering Unified Minds' impact on the standard format. So I want to kind of look to expand it and see how the set is going to affect this format. We had Unbroken Bonds release already, which unfortunately didn't really get a chance to see any play at any major event, but we will have Unified Minds being thrown into the mix. So I definitely wanted to revisit the expanded format since it has kind of been a while since we've had some major events in this format. So today we're going to be looking at Mewtwo Mew GX with Vileplume, actually. So this is all kind of enabled, of course, by the new Mewtwo Mew GX and, of course, the new Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor GX as well. So basically what we're kind of aiming to do with this deck is we are trying to just get out Vileplume as soon as possible to lock items thanks to this super growth attack. And then we have like a kind of a toolbox of different attackers to pull attacks from with our Mewtwo and Mew GX. I don't know if you guys saw our set review, but this is actually a deck that we were talking about that we really wanted to get around to testing out. So I knew this was going to be one of the first expanded deck ideas I wanted to try out here on the channel for you guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at the actual list here. So, of course, we have a 3-3-3 Vileplume line. We are playing, I believe this is probably the best Oddish that we have. It's Paralysis on a coin flip. The Gloom, I'm not sure the right one I want to use just yet. This one is definitely placeholder. I only had 2 of these from Boundaries Cross on our PTCGO account right now. This is the one I'm currently favoring just because it has a colorless retreat cost. Or I'm sorry, attack cost, and the retreat cost is only 1, whereas a lot of the Glooms have a 2 retreat. So that's kind of like the main thing I'm looking for in a Gloom, is one just with a 1 retreat cost. That's why I'm kind of favoring this one. But of course, Vileplume, this is like the kind of the first key component of the deck here. Of course, has that irritating pollen ability. Each player can't play any item cards from his or her hand. We've seen Vileplume, dominate whenever it came out. Saw a ton of play both in the standard and expanded formats. And, it's kind of dipped off a little bit ever since Forest of Giant Plants rotated, but thanks to, of course, the Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor GX, we can actually get this thing set up pretty quickly and hopefully, be pretty annoying in the process to our opponent. So, like I said, we have this Rowlet and Alolan Exeggutor. We're using it basically just for super growth. We search the deck for a card that evolves from one of our grass Pokemon, put it on that Pokemon, and if it's a stage 1, you get search your deck for the stage 2 as well. So we can go Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume, all in the same turn. Especially if we're going second, we can get turn 1 item lock, which is really, really nice. Rowlet Alolan Exeggutor does have 2 attacks. We will sometimes make use of Calming Hurricane. This is the one I've found myself using a little bit more out of the 2 attacks. But 150 and you heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. So it's not our primary attack we really want to fall back on all the time, but it is sometimes nice at turning those 2-hit knockouts into 3-hit knockouts. So, of course, the other key component of the deck is going to be the new Mewtwo and Mew GX. Playing it for that perfection ability, we can use the attacks of any of our Pokemon GX or EX on our bench or in our discard pile. And, of course, we have the amazing Battle Compressor still in expanded format, so we can easily pitch away some of our, attacking targets in there to, choose what we want to attack with. Mewtwo and Mew GX also does actually have a pretty good GX attack for 2 Psychic and a Colorless is 200, but if you have 1 extra energy attached, you heal all damage from all of your Pokemon. And we play Dimension Valley in this deck as well, so we can actually reduce this attack cost. And of course, the attack cost for any of the attacks we're going to be using with our Mewtwo and Mews. So, getting on to some of the more like toolboxy aspects of the deck, we have 1 Altaria GX, so it's for that bright tone attack. For a Fairy and Colorless, but again, if we have Dimension Valley in play using this attack with our Mewtwo and Mew, it's just going to be a single attachment, do 50 damage, and then we prevent all damage done to our Mewtwo and Mew by our opponent's Pokemon GX and EX on their next turn. So we can item block our opponent and just start like walling against their GXs, which is really nice. Sonic Edge, also a pretty good attack, especially since I anticipate Mewtwo and Mew to be very popular in the expanded format. You definitely need a shredding style attack to get through your opponent's Mewtwo and Mews who are using things like Altaria GX, Latios GX, etc. So you need a way to break through that, and Sonic Edge will allow us to get through those styles of attacks, which is pretty relevant. We have one copy of Jolteon EX. This might look, I think, a little bit redundant at a glance. We are playing it for that Flash Ray attack 70, and you prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by basic Pokemon on your opponent's next turn. So you might look at this and think, well, Altaria GX kind of does the same thing, so do you really need both? And I think you honestly do, just because there are other decks previously that we're seeing playing expanded format, like the Hitmonchan deck. Jolteon's Flash Ray will allow you to wall against a deck like that, whereas Altaria will not. Also things like Night March, or even a lot of the attackers in the Archie's Toys decks, like Articuno, Volcanion, Prism Star, etc. So Flash Ray are going to be good against those other basic attackers that tend to be very popular in Expanded. Let's see, then I think our other toolbox attacker we have is one copy of Mega Gardevoir EX. So Mega Gardevoir EX has that Despair Ray attack that's been one of my favorite EXs, ever since it got printed. And even in expanded format, like every time I go to a regional that's in expanded, there's always someone who is finding a way to still play this card. It still manages to kind of survive, and I think it's actually pretty good with Mewtwo and Mew. So we're copying it for Despair, like I said, for just a single energy. If we have Dimension Value in play, does 110, and we discard any number of bench Pokemon we like, and does 10 more for each one we discard in this way. So the reason we're playing this is we can actually do a decent amount of damage for just a single attachment with this thing, whereas some of our other attacks like Bright Tone aren't quite as strong for just a single attachment. So you can do a decent amount of damage just for, like I said, a single attachment, but also, especially in the early portions of the game, you're going to be reliant on things like Shamans and Tapu Leles to get set up. And I found that Despair is very, very good at clearing those Shaman EXs from your board, denying your opponent easy prizes. And also, like I said, your board just is very clunky in the early portions of the game because you are reliant on those Shamans at digging and hitting all of those combo pieces on your first or second turn to get your whole your whole combo set up. So Despair is very, very good at clearing your bench and allowing you to get, better Pokemon on your field, which is pretty nice. So that's our playing that one. Then we have a variety of different other support Pokemon. We have one copy of Jirachi GX, new card from Unified Minds. So it gets rid of Psychic Weakness for all Pokemon, which is very, very good because I definitely expect Mewtwo Mew GX to be a very popular card in the expanded format. So being able to shut off our own weakness, and unfortunately our opponents as well, is going to be handy at certain points. Starshield GX also isn't too bad either. We can copy this with our Mewtwo Mew GX, so we prevent all effective attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. We don't use it too often, but it is a decent GX attack to kind of have in your back pocket. We have one copy of Magearna EX for that Mystic Heart ability. Prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks, except damage done to each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached to it, and any existing effects are not removed. So this is going to be good at shutting off things like Drampa GX, as an example, from using Righteous Edge over and over to discard our energies. We play literally no basic energies in this deck, so anything that has an attack kind of similar to that would be a pretty big problem. So this is going to be very good against, like I said, Drampa GX, just as an example, or anything that might try to inflict status conditions as well. But Drampa GX was kind of the main one I had in mind when including this, though. We have one copy of Zeraora GX as well for that Thunderclap Zone ability. Each of your Pokemon that has any lightning energy attached to them has no retreat cost. Well, we play Prism energies and Rainbow energies, so whenever we have those attached, we are providing lightning energy, and as a result, we have free retreat. This is especially handy if our opponent ever tries to Guzma up our Vileplume and try to strain it active. We can just attach a Rainbow energy and retreat and be able to keep attacking. So we have a couple of different options like this currently in Expand. We have Zeraora, we have Darkrai EX, and we also have Manaphy EX. I think those are some of the big ones with this style of ability. Zeraora has 10 more HP than Darkrai, and 50 more HP? No, 70 more HP than Manaphy. So this is the tankiest form of this style ability that we have access to. So that's why we're playing Zeraora over Darkrai or Manaphy right now. Then from there, just a couple of consistency boosters. We have one copy of Tapu Lele GX for that Wonder Tag ability. Search out a supporter out of our deck, but we're going to be a little bit more reliant on Shaman EX instead for that setup ability. So whenever we bench it from hand, we draw until we have 6 cards. So on the first turn of the game, especially if we're going second, we really want to just keep digging and try to find our Mewtwo, an attachment, a Dimension Valley, an Oddish, a Battle Compressor to get rid of our Route Alone Executor. So Shaman is very, very important at finding these crucial combo pieces in the early portions of the game. I do think there is consideration changing one of these to a Dedenne GX. That was something I was kind of experimenting with. Generally, I kind of found more value out of just having 3 Shamans and just having the consistency of the same Pokemon. But I think there is merit to playing one copy of Dedenne. I think that's fine if you do want to attempt to go that route too. Another reason that I actually do like Shaman is if you're playing against decks that actually can't even one-shot you with your Mewtwo Mew, since you are, you know, a 270 HP tag team Pokemon, you can actually just Sky Return loop them over and over, which is kind of a tedious way to win, but Sky Return is actually a very, very good way at denying knockouts. I've actually used Sky Return a substantial amount with this deck, believe it or not. So of course 30 and return this Pokemon, all cards attached to it to your hand. So if you have Dimension Valley with a Mewtwo Mew in play, you can just attach once, Sky Return, and then just keep that loop going over and over if your opponent is not playing a deck that can deal with you. So that is all of our Pokemon line. Getting into our trainer cards, for our supporters, we have 4 Sycamore, 4 N. These are staples of the expanded format, and since we are playing no copies of Versus Seeker, since we are turning off item cards for both players, we will need thicker physical counts of supporters instead of something like Versus Seeker to reuse these. We're also playing 1 copy of Colorless just as an alternate form of draw power. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw equal to the amount of bench Pokemon both players have in play. You know, we're operating with a full bench usually most times, so this is definitely going to be a decent backup supporter. You typically don't want to draw on the first turn of the game. That's why we're only playing the single copy, but it's nice to have a little bit of options, especially if you have a hand you don't want to Sycamore away and your opponent's drawing dead. If you have access to your Lele, sometimes it can bail you out and get you a Chorus instead. Then from there, 3 copies of Guzma just to choose what we want to take knockouts on. 4 copies of Dimension Valley. This is another absolutely integral part of the deck. Each psychic Pokemon in play, their attacks cost 1 colorless less. So of course this is what is going to allow our Mewtwo Mews to attack so flexibly with all of these different attacks that we're kind of highlighting here. Then from there, we have a couple of item cards, not too many though. We basically just want to play enough items to get set up, but nothing really more than that. Of course, 4 copies of Ultra Ball, best search card that we have in Expanded. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon and reveal it, put it into your hand. We're also playing 3 copies of Pokemon Communication as well. So Pokemon Communication, you just put a Pokemon from your hand back into your deck, search your deck for a different Pokemon, and this is actually very, very good in a deck like this. We're playing 24 Pokemon, that's a lot, so we basically always have access to communication. And even though there's so many other powerful forms of search in the expanded format, I think Pokemon Communication in particular is actually pretty good, has synergy with the strategy of our deck. So for example, if we have a couple of our Vileplume pieces in our hand, we can put one of them back into the deck. That way we can reliably use Super Growth to get them into play via evolving. So that's why I am favoring this over something like Nest Ball or Mysterious Treasure or something like that. Let's see, we have 4 copies of Battle Compressor as well. Truth be told, you actually don't even need 4 copies, but you really only need 2, but you need to run a pretty thick count because after the first turn of the game, you're not going to have access to your items. So you need kind of a high count just to ensure that you can find them on the first turn. And so search your deck for up to 3 cards, discard them, so we can discard our Altarias, Mega Gardevoir, Jolteon, extra copies of Route Alone Executor, or let's say we've already kind of discarded those, we can toss away some of these additional copies of Battle Compressor. They're going to be left in the deck otherwise. So like I said, realistically, you only really probably want to see 2 of these, but you need to play, I think, an even thicker count just to ensure that you find them on the first turn before you lock your own item cards. Then from there, we have 1 copy of Computer Search as our ace spec to round out our trainer cards. Of course, discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for any card. Definitely going to be better than any of the other ace specs here, just because something like Dazzling Machine is pretty bad on the first turn of the game. Same thing for things like Scramble Switch, Scoop Up Cyclone, etc. Computer Search definitely the preferred ace spec here. Then from there, 4 copies of Prism Energy and 4 copies of Rainbow Energy. You guys are probably familiar with Rainbow Energy, but Prism Energy is a card we've had in the expanded format. It provides essentially a Rainbow Energy to any of your basic Pokemon, but without the damage counter that you would typically get from Rainbow Energy, which is pretty nice. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the list that we're going to be trying out here. It's definitely a pretty interesting concept for a deck. I'm really excited to see all of the different Mewtwo and Mew creations that people are coming up with. But yeah, let's head into some games. So we'll show off how this deck looks in action, okay? Alright, Pikachu Girl is calling the coin flip. Pikachu Girl, I wonder if we're playing against like a Raichu deck or something like that, based on that username. And okay, so we have a Mewtwo and Mew to start with. That is definitely going to be pretty good. I might kind of hang on to our hand. Well, actually, let's see. Are we going first? No, they're going first. Yeah, I think I'll hang on to the Oddish just in case. I kind of want to conceal what we're playing. Just because if we bench the Oddish, our opponent might actually get a little bit more aggressive with the item cards that they're playing here. And we're going to see a Jirachi. Interesting. It's not... You know, typically we haven't seen much of Jirachi in the expanded format, so we'll have to see what we're playing as. Okay. Seeing a Solgaleo GX at the discards. It's going to be another Mewtwo Mew deck. We see they have the sleeves over there. So far, this kind of just looks like a standard format deck in the expanded format. Okay, we're going to see a Welder. Okay, so if they're playing Welder and Solgaleo GX, this has to be an opposing Mewtwo Mew deck. And Hapu. Okay, yeah, yet again, another card we don't see too much in expanded. Let's see. Okay, they discard their own Jirachi GX and a Reshizard. Just gonna see another Jirachi. We have yet to see a Mewtwo and Mew. Our opponent's gone through a good bit of cards. So maybe they have some prize. I definitely wouldn't say no if that was the case. Okay, and they do find Cherish Ball. So they will find themselves a Mewtwo and Mew here. So we will probably have to get down our own Jirachi GX, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think it's pretty likely we will be knocked out on this next turn. So, like, yeah, we definitely put down Oddish. I'm just trying to think, do we... I really don't want to put Dimension Valley down here at all, if possible, just because, like, if we put down the D-Valley, they can just go attach and use Double Blaze GX and knock us out. So I think we... I really don't want to get rid of these, but... Well, actually, you know what? If we do this... Yeah, instead of actually going for Vileplume, I think I'm actually just going to go for Altaria here and just attempt to use Bright Tone. And okay, that hand's pretty bad. So we actually wouldn't have been able to even get our Vileplume this turn had we not done that. So we could bench the Shaman, but we would literally get 0 cards. This hand's actually really, really awkward. Well, we're just going to go for a Bright Tone. Hopefully our opponent doesn't play Pokemon Ranger. So we're going to smack that Jirachi just for a pitiful 30 damage. We have to 3-shot a Jirachi. Let's see. So one thing we will have to watch out for is, of course, a fully powered Double Blaze GX. That can unfortunately get through our Bright Tone. But, yeah, but after they burn that, if they don't play Ranger, hopefully we can just kind of wall against them for a little bit. Also curious if they play their own Altaria GX or if they play like the Detective Pikachu Greninja GX, that would also get through our own Bright Tone. So I would imagine they play something like that. Or if they play Latios GX, that would also be pretty annoying. That was one thing I did think about putting in this deck, but I was like, you know what, Jolteon and the Altaria already kind of do the same thing. So we'll just do this. And, like, I'm debating, actually, maybe even going for a Guzma here. Yeah, I actually don't completely hate that. Because I kind of want to smack this Mewtwo and put pressure on it before they find what they need to take a knockout on us. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So we'll Guzma that thing up. And we can actually Shaman here as well and get a couple more cards. Sure, we'll do that. And man, these draws are a little bit awkward. I mean, luckily we're able to still do stuff, but this is not the explosive turn 1 and 2 I'm used to with this deck here. So we're just going to go for a Bright Tone, smack that thing for 100, and you know, hopefully they won't have a good response here. Let's see. Okay, and we're just going to see a Cynthia, so that's actually good. I was kind of worried about like a Welder attachment, fully powered Double Blaze GX. That would have been really, really bad. And we just get the victory screen. So I guess our opponent didn't really have too much to work with there. I won't say no. Alrighty, let's see. We do lose the coin flip. Not the end of the world, though. Like I've kind of mentioned, this deck really doesn't mind going second, just because first turn Vileplume seems pretty good. Oh man, this hand is not that fun. I really hate starting this Rowlet Alolan Executor. At least it does guarantee us getting closer to getting a Vileplume out turn 1, but it's just kind of clunky to move because it does have a 3 retreat cost. We will have to find our Sciarratta or make use of Guzma. So DCEs and triple acceleration energies, Elm's Lecture, and Hypnotoxic Laser. Very interesting. Not really sure what we're playing against here. Okay. And just a Ditto start, so still have no idea of what kind of deck this is. So we'll see an Elm's Lecture. Moment of Truth. Is this like Behemoth or something? I'm just thinking, like, why would you play Elm's Lecture over something like Bridget? And I'm just trying to think, well, what 60 HP Pokemon are worth getting? Okay, but it looks like a Zoroark deck of some sort here. And a Rattata, very interesting as well. Oh god, is this going to be Raticate? Oh my god, that would actually be terrible, I think. So, we'll definitely put this thing down. I really don't want to attach a Rainbow Energy. And we're just going to have to go for an N here. Ugh, this is such a bad hand. I mean, we can still make some things happen. We just need to grab an Oddish, and I feel much better about where we'll be at. And we'll do that. That seems pretty good. So we have 2 Oddish in deck, but we should still have a good bit of search. Yeah, we have a bunch of outs to drawing one here, so we'll get rid of these guys. Unfortunately, I think we're going to attach here just to draw an extra card off Shaman. And then we're just going to set up for 3. Need Oddish. Hey, and we did get there. This still feels really terrible, though. We're going to go for Super Growth. So at least our item lock will hopefully buy us some time, but man, this is kind of a clunky start. If this was a Mewtwo Mew, I would feel so much better about the spot that we're in. But good news is our opponent cannot use Hypnotoxic Laser to knock us out with a Raticate now. So I'm assuming, of course, this is going to be the Boundaries Cross Raticate and not Raticate Break, but I just had to assume. Okay, we're going to see a Guzma. That is so annoying. And we're just going to see a Ram. Okay. Busted. Okay, so I'm fine with that. We'll just Guzma. We can bring up, I don't know, maybe Tapu Lele, I guess? Or even Zorua doesn't seem that terrible either. We'll just do Tapu Lele. That's fine with me, I suppose. And we're just going to pass. So the reason I bring up Lele is because if we attach one more, we can actually take a knockout. Oh my god, they have another Guzma. Come on, man, what are you doing to me here? And we're going to see another Ram. Come on, Lele. This is a hilarious match so far. Alright. So we're going to do this, and we're going to go for Tropical Hour GX, apparently. So hopefully we can get something decent here. We get Lele. Oh, and we get the victory screen. So that was a hilarious game. I guess our opponent didn't have anything else after that either. So we do lose the coin flip. Curious what we're playing against. We have our opponent with a Mewtwo Mew deck box and sleeve, so this might be some form of mirror match here. And did we go first or second? Okay, they're going first, so maybe, I guess, like, technically I wouldn't know what our opponent's playing, so I guess I would just start the Mewtwo Mew. We'll just hang on to our hand from there. And Latios GX. So this tells me this is probably going to be like a Mewtwo Mew toolbox deck. Now the Latios GX is actually a really big pain to deal with, though. So what they get rid of? The Naganadel GX. That's also kind of annoying because they can snipe our Vileplume. So this version of like the Mewtwo Mew box might have a bit of an edge against us, especially if we whiff like the turn 1 Vileplume. So they have Battle Compressor. Yeah, so this, our opponent's having a pretty good first turn here. Jeez, this is definitely a good first turn. Oh, they have Mega Gengar. Choose one of your opponent's attacks and use it as attack. That's pretty good. Alright, so we'll put that down. We will... I don't want to put down Jolteon because then they can snipe us potentially with the Naganadel GX. Did they play a supporter beyond the welder? Oh man, I do not want to Sycamore this hand away, but... yeah, I'm... huh, what do we do? I think we're just going to go for a good old Sycamore here. Well, the issue that we have right now is that we can either get out... well, we could play our hand down pretty low and attempt to dig for everything, because we need our Jirachi GX to stay alive, and we also need our Oddish to get out our Vileplume. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We'll get rid of that and Sycamore. We could just go for Altaria GX, and they have something that cuts through. They have Sonic Edge. That feels so bad. Is it affected by weakness? No. This is just like an all-around feels bad right now. Do we even have Jirachi GX? We do, which is definitely good. So yeah, we're just gonna go for Shaman. And yep, we're gonna Ultra Ball as well. And we're gonna go for Jirachi. Just because we have higher odds of hitting the Oddish, and we really just need to make sure this Mewtwo Mew does not get knocked out this turn. Or on our opponent's next turn. Okay, we do hit the Oddish. Unfortunately, we don't have much of a follow-up for the next turn. So we could even, like... Latios, why do you have free retreat? You're really just being such a pain right now. What are the odds they have a supporter on their next turn? That's kind of the other thing I was thinking. All they did was Welder. Yeah, like... I think we have to just go for the Bright Tone here, which really pains me to say. We have the Gloom in hand. That's another reason I don't feel too bad about this. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we didn't... Oh, we had Jolteon. That's what it was that we had in discard. Oof. Okay, so we just gave our opponent a dimension value for no reason. Excellent. I mean, if that's the case, we like honestly, I think have to go for. We just have to go for super growth. One thing we can do is we can just go for like the Sky Return loop in the meantime if our opponent doesn't have like means of one-shotting us. This feels really bad because they can just attach and abuse our own D-value to knock out our Vileplume. So yeah, I should have double checked to see what we had in discard. Now, after you play so many games of this, you always kind of just assume that you have your attackers in the discard. You're so used to it, but so that's a big feels bad for me there. But like I said, our opponent just weldered. Oh, they have a Guzma. Okay. So let's see. Oh, they're probably going to. Yep. Oh, they're going to copy the. Oh, I see. Interesting. I mean, that's nice, but interesting. Because I can just use Altaria's attack to go through that, so that is a busted top deck as well, I might add. Let's see, so we have one Gloom and the discard. Let's see, do we bench the other Oddish? Like right now, I don't mind them potentially trying to snipe the Vileplume. Yeah, I think that's fine by me actually if they do that. So I don't mind just leaving that. Oh wait, I forgot already. Like we don't have Altaria in the discard. What am I even talking about? So we're gonna have to flash right here, unfortunately. So everyone's gonna go for Sophocles. Dude, I'm playing like so sloppy in this game. So at least we have the Jolteon in discard pile. Like things would be a lot worse if we didn't have that. So now we're at this like awkward standstill, but our opponent has access to Altaria GX and we do not, and that's really where things feel kind of bad here. So we're just gonna have to. Yeah, I'll just attach to the Mewtwo Mew. And we could Swift for 30. But unfortunately, we just have to flash right here. We just have to buy time and attempt to find a way to get Altaria GX in the discard pile. That's the key card we really, really need. So what are they going to go for? They're attaching more energy. They're probably trying to gear up for a big, fully powered double blaze. That feels really bad. So sure, we'll attach there. And yeah, sure, we're just gonna have to chorus. Yeah, I don't see us winning this one, guys. This feels really bad. We do have N in hand, so after our opponent inevitably just blows through us with Reshizard's attack. But then they can just snipe us afterwards with Naganadel, so this feels just absolutely terrible. So they're inevitably just going to double blaze, knock us out, go down to one prize, then attach energy on their next turn, and or actually they don't even have to attach energy. They're going to have the energy already on them. So So our game plan is our opponent misplays. And that's what we're going to be going for in this game. Oh, just going for Sonic Edge. So maybe they don't have the energy. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so what do we do? We need to put something down just so we don't get timed out. Yeah, we're just gonna go for Flash Ray yet again. So ideally they go for another, Sonic Edge or whatever the attack on Altaria is, and then we can actually knock him out with our GX attack. That would be ideal. So we're going to see a Welder. That feels much worse. Well, actually, no, because even if they knock us out with Double Blaze, we can take a knock. Oh, no, they have Fighting Fury Belt. Oh, bro. This feels so terrible. I got so excited. I was like, oh, nice. We can just knock them out, but... Okay. They're going to go for a Bright Tone. Very interesting. So, if we... We're actually going to go for Swift. We're going to bait them into knocking us out, and then we can knock them out with our other Mewtwo Mew. That's kind of the game plan right now. So this is definitely an awkward game. This is Expanded definitely seems like it might not be that fun once Unified Minds, or once we have Expanded tournaments finally underway in this format. Just these Mewtwo wars are going to be so awkward. Okay, we're going to see Phantom Gate. Oh, bro. the Route Alone Executor is coming back to bite us. Because I benched it to like not get timed out, so we had some more time to think, and then... So do we have any way? Like, do we have any way to win it right now? Yeah, that feels terrible. Yeah, I don't really think we have another way to... Yeah, so the Route Alone Executor kind of lost us the game there. Otherwise, we would have been able to take a knockout. Yeah, we'll be 20 damage short, so that is definitely a bummer. Alrighty guys, let's see if we can get a better game. I know a lot of these, our opponents have like been scooping and stuff like that. Or I'm not even sure what games right now are going to make it into the video that we've been playing. A lot of these have just been Vileplume or something like that. Opponent scoops after like 2 turns, so fingers crossed we can get something a little bit more back and forth for this one. And our opponent is attempting to load the game. Let's see if they can get there. Okay, cool, there we go. And we do in the coin flip. That is fine by me. Let's see what we can get off of this hand, though. It's workable. I mean, I hate starting the... I actually might even... Do we start the Route Alone Executor or the Shaman? Because I hate starting with the Route Alone Executor, but at the same time, like... Because we could computer search it away. We'll just start it. It's fine. We can always Guzma out of the active at some point anyways. Okay, so we're seeing Surge Strategy, Fire Crystal, Welder. So this could be like Expanded Reshizard or something like that. Yes, we would like the additional card. Jolteon's probably going to be pretty good in this matchup based on what we've seen. Okay, so Reshizard, or this could be like a Mew Box style deck as well. We'll have to see. But yeah, we'll definitely toss these away. That seems good. Playing against Reshizard, do we need Magier? Well, if it's like a Mewtwo toolbox thing, maybe we could hang on to that. I think we'll just leave those for the moment. We'll get rid of Compressor. So we'll get rid of Jolteon and the other Route Alone Executor. That seems good. We'll go for Mewtwo Mew. And sure, we'll attach Prism. So if our opponent takes a knockout first turn, that would actually be... Like, it could be good, it could be bad for us. Like, prize-wise, it would be terrible, but... I was going to say, it would at least get the Route Alone Executor out the active. So this hand is a bit awkward, for sure. No Oddish, which is a bit of a bummer. But actually, if our opponent burns their GX attack on the Route Alone Executor, I'm actually really okay with that, because then they won't be able to get through Bright Tone or Flash Ray whenever we inevitably start using those. So I think we're just going to pass for now. Because I'm not sure what my opponent's playing. If they're playing like a their own Mewtwo Mew, we might need to keep the Jirachi. So we're just going to see a Kiawe. That's fine as well. Ooh, this actually is really bad because they can just go Flare Strike and then fully powered Double Blaze and we lose. So we basically have to get out of the active spot this turn. So we need to do... we need Zeraora for sure. So we have to attach... Oh, this feels so bad. I think our opponent's literally just going to win in 2 turns. Let's see what we can make happen. So, set up for 2. Come on, Sycamore, Pokemon Communication, anything like that would be fine. Okay, we do get a supporter. That's good. That feels so bad. Well, I guess we're just going to, we're probably going to lose in 2 turns. We'll have to see, but right now I'm thinking it's not looking good for us. Alrighty. So this is a situation like something like a Lugia GX would actually be really good in this type of situation, or like Tapu Fini GX, because we can put that Reshizard either into the Lost Zone or into our opponent's deck. Right now, we're in a bad spot though. Yeah, so they can just go Flare Strike, and we pretty much just lose. I am pretty sure. And we don't have an end to even punish our opponent too. This is probably going to be a quick one. So let's see. Do we have anything that can buy us time? I don't think so, unfortunately. So I think we're just gonna have to... Well, we could Sky Return, actually. Which would be hilarious. I think it's actually what we have to do. As sad as that is. So, yeah, we'll put that down. Actually, we... So we just put up the Shaman then. This still feels bad because we don't have another Mew and Mewtwo down, so... They can probably just Double Blaze and still win this game, as sad as that is. Okay, we're gonna see Kukui, that's fine. Not stressing about that. We have 2 ends left in deck. We're gonna need that, like, to really get back into this game. Okay, so, yeah, we'll do... We'll do this. If our opponent has Guzma, we're in bad shape, because then the Shaman can get knocked out between turns. Yeah, I think we're just gonna pass. Sure. Because basically I want to attack into this Reshizar, that's why I don't want a Guzma. Ideally, I want to be able to use the GX attack on, like after the Shrine damage, I want to be able to use the GX attack on our Mewtwo Mew, take a knockout. And that will kind of spring us back into this game. So Bill's Maintenance, very interesting card. I'm very curious why they're playing that. So it's not a Guzma, so that's definitely good for us. And Outrage. So, okay, we are definitely back in this game. Now we can enter our opponent to 1 and take a knockout on this thing. We just need to find ourselves a Dimension Valley. That's going to be the big thing here. Do we, like, Sycamore and just go for it? So we definitely do this no matter what. Because if we end and they don't have energy, we still, like, have an out, basically, but we might need to... Ah, that feels so bad. I'm really not sure. Because if we whiff off the Sycamore, there's, like, no chance our opponent doesn't have an energy to just win. So I think we just have to go for the end. If we hit the Dimension Valley off this end, it's just such an oppressive combo here. And we do not, but at least we put them at a 1-card hand, so their chances of hitting energy are, you know, much less had we otherwise. Ooh, what we could do is to buy another turn, we could actually Euphoria. No, we can't Euphoria GX, because then we can't. Man. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Sure, I guess we just have to Bright Tune, unfortunately. Just fingers crossed our opponent does not have energy. And yes, so they did not have energy. So we have a chance yet again. We definitely do need to find a counter stadium like pretty soon though. Actually no, we have Despair, so we're good. We're good. So if we do this, we'll be down to 220. Sure, that's fine. So if we discard 2 with Despair Ray, that'll be 130, 140 with the Shrine. So yeah, we'll do that then. So we'll get rid of both of these. And suddenly we miraculously were able to come back into this game. The Sky Return definitely saved us on that one turn. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have just lost. So we get another Mewtwo Mew. That's definitely good. Ultra Ball, whatever. Come on, Sycamore. That would be nice. Or Guzma. Or Dimension Valley. That's great. So from here, I think we can actually just Flash Ray, Flash Ray, Flash Ray, basically until the end of the game here. Nice. So we will do this. We'll do that. Sure, we'll do that. And yes, we'll put this down because now the Snorlax is in range of the GX knockout for us. So we'll go for Sycamore here. And we have Guzmas. I would like to get our Zeraora GX. That would also be nice at some point here. So I think we can probably safely discard this thing. Like, we could go for Flash Ray, but realistically, our opponent doesn't have a way at knocking us out. I kind of just want to go in and just keep putting on pressure here. So if we hit an Energy or Zeraora GX off of our top deck, we can actually take a knockout on the EV Snorlax for game. So that's what we're kind of hoping for here. So that N, okay, they're gonna go for Guzma. That's fine with me. Okay, they're very smart to at least promote the Snorlax, though. That way we can't Guzma it up. Okay, so we did hit Zeraora. That's actually very relevant. How many Rainbow Energies do we have? 1, 2, 3. Do we have another in deck? That would be... If we don't, we might just lose. So I think we should probably just play it safe here. I'm really not sure what we have left, so... Oh, you know what? We could have used Tapu Lele to find that out first, but it's fine. So let's see what we actually had in here. So we have Guzma. I'll just grab Sycamore. It's fine. And we did have a Rainbow. Oh, and we got the victory screen. So, yeah, somehow we end up coming back and winning that. The end of one knockout on the Charizard just, you know, really saved us there. So yeah, guys, that is going to be our look here. Like I said, at this Mewtwo Mew GX like toolbox deck, like Vileplume variant. I definitely want to experiment more with not only this variant of the deck, but just Mewtwo Mew in general and expand. It has so many different card combinations. It's hard to cover them in just like one attempt at the deck here. So I'm not sure if the Vileplume variant is the way to go or just a more straightforward aggro version is the way to go, but it's definitely really fun being able to mess around with this card with things like Compressor at your disposal and things like that. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this look at Mewtwo Mew in the expanded format. Of course, if you did enjoy this content, feel free to like and subscribe and consider supporting us by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or by picking up some merch from our online store rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.